Hi, it's Craig from Scratch at 50. Just a very impromptu live podcast today to the news that Tiger Woods, has announced that he's coming back and he is playing his first tournament in quite a while. So just before we get into that, there's a little bit of in-house stuff to just clean up. So you may or may not have seen just on a recent video that I've decided to split off the live podcast and the studio work from this channel to a new channel. I just feel like that everyone's got used to, you know, content from the golf course on Scratch at 50. And when I looked at all the studio content that I posted recently, and it's a lot more frequent because it's a lot easier to do when you're reacting to golf news like this, for example. So I just felt like it would just make everything a lot cleaner if we just keep Scratch at 50 for all the golf course related content that you've got used to. And we'll put all of this stuff onto the new channel, which is going to be called, I've already set it up. It's called The Missed Cut, of which there's the new logo. So the link is in the description. I'll also pop the link in the comments as well. So we'll switch over to that sometime in March. And then all of this live podcast and studio content will move across to the Missed Cut channel. So as always, the idea is that everyone can get involved, everyone can get, post comments, actually take part in the shows, actually help shape what we discuss. And, basically, these podcasts are as much about what you're wanting to say as much as what I'm wanting to say as well. So, so make sure you subscribe to the Missed Cut so when we do move over to that channel, you're all ready to get notifications on when the shows are happening. So, on to Mr. Woods. So, he put out a tweet late last night, which pretty much broke the internet. I got this screen grab only about 10 minutes ago. It's had 5.5 million views already. He's announced that he is going to play in the Genesis Invitational. Is it called the Genesis Invitational? Anyway, Genesis LA Open, whatever it's called at Riviera. It's obviously a massively iconic event, and Tiger is going to be teeing it up. He's not played since the Open Championship, which was 7 months ago. That was a long time ago. Now, one question I have here is he playing because he's genuinely ready to play? Or is he playing just because he's the host of the championship? He was going to play in the Hero event at the end of last year, but had to pull out because he was struggling with his foot. And the only reason he was going to play in that was because he was the host of that event, and in the end he couldn't do it. So, I just don't know whether he is actually genuinely ready to compete or feels like he's... I think Tiger always feels like he's genuinely ready to compete, isn't he? He's so, his mind is so strong and he never turns up unless he thinks he can win. And I think, although a lot of us now question whether that's the case, I think he genuinely believes it for sure. But is he turning up just because he's the host of this event? Or is he, genuinely thinking he can turn up and he can compete and, ultimately try and win the title? Get into the comments and let me know what you think. One thing's for sure that he has won already is the PGA PIP rankings. This one tweet alone in, the second month of the year has probably won him that already. I've got a bit of an issue with the PIP, if I'm being honest. I think it is a clandestine way for the PGA Tour to give money to its stars to keep them on board and stop them from even thinking about going to the Live Tour. Obviously, Tiger and Rory and a number of others are never going to go across the Live Tour anyway. But I think it's just a way of keeping those boys 100% on board and give them a load of extra money and have a reason for doing it, so it's not like a brown envelope job, under the desk, as it were. So yeah, the PIP, I kind of, I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest. But for sure, with this tweet that Tiger's put out, he is definitely probably won that already, I would imagine. Uh, so, is he healthy? Let's get into that first. It's been a long time since we last saw him at the. It was the PNC when he played with Charlie, wasn't it? And he was obviously still struggling then. He was still needing a cart to get round. He actually played a lot of good golf in that tournament. He hit a lot of good shots. And he was certainly, when he was playing with Justin Thomas, he was getting his drives out there as far as Justin Thomas was. So I don't think there's anything to worry about too much about Tiger actually being able to hit a golf ball. It's all about whether he can actually get round 4 rounds of golf. If you look back to his, certainly in the Masters and the US Open, I think it was that he played. If you take the Masters, for example, where he made the cut, which was an amazing achievement when you think about it. But, you could visibly see that as each round went past, his health and his ability to walk was just getting worse and worse until, the final round, he was literally struggling to get round that final round at the Masters. And, that means that your golf is just going to go downhill as the tournament goes on as well. So, it's going to be interesting to see. He's obviously had a lot of time. 7 months since he played in the Open Championship is a long time to have been doing some rehab, strengthening work. I'm sure we know how dedicated he is in the gym. So, is he going to surprise us? Is he going to come out and, basically be a lot healthier and look a lot fitter than what we're expecting? Or is it going to be the same hobbling around Tiger Woods that we've seen, in 2022? One thing's for sure, it's great news for the PGA Tour. This could not have been timed better for them because with literally only 2 weeks to go till the first Live Tour event. We know how Live, does its business. It basically, gets all of its assets together, and then it just over a period of time, it just drip feeds them out and creates a long-term period of buzz around its tour. So, it announced its tour dates 2 weeks ago. Last week, it announced all of its new teams. I'm sure that, we're going to get some player announcements now leading up to the first event, probably with some other stuff in there as well. So, this for the PGA Tour to try and counteract that could not have been timed any better. The amount of interest that is going to be around this tournament now because Tiger's playing. And obviously, it's an elevated event, so the field is going to be the strongest field that you can get. They've got that at the Waste Management, which is taking place at the moment. So, from a PGA Tour point of view, this is absolutely perfect timing. It could not have been timed better. And, the PGA Tour, it needs, it almost seems like it's so reliant on Rory McIlroy at the moment. He's taking the brunt of everything. He's being the person up front for the PGA Tour. He's taking on a hell of a burden as well as trying to, win golf tournaments. So the fact that Tiger's coming back is going to take a little bit of that off Rory. I'm sure Rory's probably the happiest man about this because Tiger's going to take all of the attention and it's going to leave Rory probably to just get on and just play his golf next week. So, get into the comments. Do you think that Tiger is going to make the cut? Do you think he will? Or do you think he's literally just turning up to, give a load of extra publicity to the event? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. Do you think that, he's going to make the cut and he's going to compete? I think that I wouldn't rule him out from making the cut, but based on the fact that we've seen him struggle with his health to just walk 4 rounds so much, and it just didn't seem to be getting better, unless there's a massive improvement in that. And I expect in the first round, or when he plays his practice rounds, we might start, because, the thing is, like, I would say the one negative thing about Tiger Woods playing in an event is the fact that the focus is just so much on him. It's just like everything is about him, the coverage, blanket coverage about him, and they kind of forget about other great stories that are going on, other great players that are in the event. I'd say that's probably one of the negatives from it. But I'm sure, you know, when he turns up and he's playing a practice round, the cameras will be on, Golf Channel will be reporting on it, obviously. And we'll see just what his mobility is like pretty early on. If there's any kind of hint of us still having a bit of a limp, then, you know, that's just going to get worse as the tournament goes on. But who knows? You know, it's been 7 months, like I say, since the British Open. He may well have been doing a lot of work in the gym and a lot of rehab and got that leg a lot stronger and built it up to a point where maybe he can play and walk 4 rounds of golf now. Who knows? We will see. So, yeah, I'll wrap it up there. Just a quick show about this breaking news that happened last night. Get into the comments. Let me know, one, do you think that he's just turning up as the host, or do you think he's turning up to generally try and compete? And if you think that he's generally trying to compete, what do you think he'll do in the tournament? Do you think he'll miss the cut, make the cut, be in the top 10, be fighting for the win? Get in the comments. Let me know what you think. I'm intrigued to see how he's going to play. I'm intrigued to see what his health's going to be like. So, you know, let's get ready for the Tiger Woods circus to begin in full earnest, starting probably on Tuesday when he turns up for the first practice round. Okay, look forward to seeing your comments on this, and I'll see you in the next video.